Hey there, Mr. Thayer from the Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship back with another grade 3 math lesson. Today we are looking at Module 2, Lesson 3. Count by fives and ones on the number line as a strategy to tell time to the nearest minute on the clock. Okay? This is piggybacking off of yesterday's lesson. Yesterday's lesson we skip counted by 5 on the number line to help us tell time. Okay, so today we're going to apply that same technique. We're going to count by fives, but this time we are going to look at in between where the fives are. There are going to be some tick marks, and we're going to count by 1. Okay, so instead of seeing 5, 10, 15, 20, we're going to look like what becomes between 20 and 25. We know 21, 22, 23, 24, and then 25. So we're going to actually look in between these tick marks here. We're going to add some smaller tick marks that are going to help us to really break it down by the minute, okay? So today we're going to kick it off by looking at we're going to plot some digital clock points on a number line that has the tick marks in it. And then what we're going to do is we are going to work on a word problem that is asking us 3 questions. We're going to look at a clock and figure out what time our friend Zach is playing with his toys. Then we are going to look how long he played for that, and then we're going to plot that answer on a number line to finish up. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take some digital clock times, and let's plot them on our number line here. Okay, so as you can see, my number line changed a little bit today. Okay, yesterday when you saw the number lines, you guys saw the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. I counted by fives. Now, if you notice, I have tick marks in between, okay? And I have 4 tick marks in between because that represents the numbers between by skip counting by fives, okay? So I have 5 here. So a tick mark would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, all right? So, okay, froze a little bit there, okay? We know if we are counting between the numbers here, 15 and 20, we're going by 5. All right? If we're in here, we are just counting by 1. Okay? So skip counting by 5, and then in between with the tick marks, we're counting by 1. All right? Very simple here. So let's erase this. And let's take a look at our first digital clock reading, which is 4:07. 4:07. So we need to plot that. Okay? So we know 4 o'clock is here, and we need 7. So there's 0, 5, and 10. So there's 5, and there's 10. So it's got to be in between there. So we take our 5, all right, and then we just count up our tick marks till we get to 7. Very good. So 5, 6, 7. So there is our tick mark right there. Let me get I'm going to get a thicker marker here so I can put the plot mark on there. All right, so there's we went 6 and then 7. So that right there would be 4:07. 4:07 on that plot mark. Okay, because 7, we knew 7 was between 5 and 10, so we just counted our tick marks: 5, 6, 7, 4:07 on our number line. All right, let's take a look at our next one. Our next one is 4:44. A lot of 4s there. Okay, so 44. We come down here. Well, there's 40, and there's 45. Okay, so all we do is we follow our tick marks till we get till, you got it, the number 44. 41, 42, 43, 44. Okay? And, of course, my marker kind of dries out a little bit when I'm trying to put that plot point. There it is, right there. That's better. So that is 4:44. Okay? I took the 40, and then I counted up 4 tick marks, counted by ones. 41, 42, 43, 44, and I plotted my mark at 4:44. All right? Now our next digital reading is 4:26. 4:26. So we know the 4 is over here. It's got to be between 4 and 5, so we know that. So here's our 4. So we're looking for 26. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we know 25 and 30. It's got to be between there. So 25, we got to get to 26. So just one tick mark. There it is right there. For 26. And it would plot right there. Okay? All right. So that was understanding that, as I dropped my marker on the floor, that's okay. That is just understanding that we use the number line, we count by fives, but in between the fives, we count by one. It's the same principle when you're looking at the analog clock. All right? You can count by fives, but in between the numbers, then we're just going to count by one. So it's going to give you those extra minutes. That's going to give you that 6, 7, 8, 9, and etc. all the way around. So just understand that when we're counting for time or when we're trying to read a clock, we're skip counting by fives, and then we're using those tick marks as one. Okay? If you understand that, it's pretty simple from there. Okay? So let's get into our word problem for the day here. It's a couple of steps here, and I think we'll be all right. We're just going to kind of plot some things here and see how it goes. And it says we have our friend Zach. And I'm going to see if, let me see here. I'm going to use this blue marker here. If I drop my purple, that's okay. All right. I have my friend Zach. He's playing with his toys. All right. So we're gonna look at A, B, and C. We're looking at A right now. All right. And it says, what time does Zach start playing with his toys? What time does he start playing his toys? So I drew a clock over here, but I didn't put all the tick marks in. I plan to put the tick marks here where we're going to need it for what the problem. This is an application problem from your story, okay? Or from your workbook. So we know we can see the number is between 2 and 3, okay? It's not at 3 yet, and it's past 2. But so it's not yet 3 o'clock. It is, yep, you guessed it. It is 2 o'clock, okay? It's 2 o'clock. All right, now we need to get ourselves some minutes. So here's where we're going to utilize counting by fives and those tick marks. Okay, so we start here at 12. We know this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, remember those tick marks, we count by 5. That's why I was counting. We're looking at the long arm of our clock here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So we know it's between 30 and 35 for when Zach was playing. All right, so let's count those tick marks now. We know we got 30, 31, 32. Right where that arrow is pointing, 32. Okay, so Zach started playing with his toys at 2:32. All right, we figured that out from the clock. 2:32 is when he started playing with his toys. Okay, so we answered question 1 just by looking at the clock that we have here. Question 2 says, he plays for 23 minutes. What time does he finish playing? So they want us to figure out, he played for 23 minutes, and then they want us to put that on the clock here. All right, so we know he started at 2:32, right? And we're just going to add 23 minutes in there. We're going to just put 23. Okay? We're just going to do some basic math there. So 3 plus 2, that gives us 5. 3 plus 2 gives us 5. And that would put us at 2:55. So Zach finishes playing at 2:55. Okay? At 2:55. So that means now we just have to plot that 2:55. So we're going to start with the hour hand, which is the shorthand. Okay? And we want that, it's got to go between the 2 and the 3. So 2:55 is almost 3 o'clock. So we're going to put that shorthand, erase that here. We're going to put it kind of closer to the 3. Okay? Because it's closer because it's almost 3. All right? But it's not on the 3. So there's our 2. Now we got 55. 55 is going to be easy because it ends in 5. We can skip count right around the numbers here by 5 to get us to 55. So we start here at when we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Yep, right to the 11. The 11 would be 55. So the big hand is going to point directly to, my arrow is really bad. Mr. Thayer's arrow is really bad. There we go. Okay, put that right in the middle here. So our arrow is going to point to the 11. So that's 255 plotted on our clock. Okay, he started at 2:32. You can see was right around here. 2:55 is where he finished. You can see how the clock moved from there all the way to that for 23 minutes of play. Okay, now down here they want us to plot. I didn't write it out. They just want us to plot when he started playing and when he finished playing. Okay, so we know that our plot points are going to be 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Okay, 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. All right, we know he started at 2:32. So there's 2. We know there's 30 right there, and that's 40 right there. This in between is 35. Okay, and we know that there's some tick marks in there. So 2:32 is going to be right around there. So he started at 2:32. Okay, and the easy one's going to be when he finished. He finished at 2:55. So there's 2. We know 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. In between here, that's going to give us 55. So we know he finished at 2:55. And I'm going to circle that. And that was just plotting it on the number line. Pretty simple. Okay. As you can see, I worked through, let me turn this back. I worked through a multiple step problem there. We solved what time, we read the clock to tell us what time he started playing at. We figured out that he played for 23 minutes, and we plotted that on a clock. And then we put it on a number line, and we could see that when we count by 5s, and then in between those 5s are those ticks, which are 1, which we count by 1. Okay? So that's really what I wanted you to understand when you are looking at that lesson. Understand that we can count by 5s, and then in between count by 1s when we are adding up or when we are trying to figure out how to read a clock. Okay? Head over to that exit ticket, take some time, figure out some of those questions I put in there for you, and I will provide feedback soon. Have a great day.